Much better, right? You feel how the arms are out in front of your chest there, not getting stuck back behind your rib cage? Yeah. There you go, much better. All right, so trying to stay focused on that arm structure. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put the ball right here. Give yourself a couple practice swings or a couple feels that we want to kind of do, and then we go from there. Keep those arms in front of you. Good. Good. You feel how those arms are staying more out in front of where we are instead of getting stuck back here, because you have an issue of getting those kind of stuck back here where our rib cage is. Yeah. Right? I want to have kind of the line where my sternum is in my hands. Yeah. All right. So if I was picking up a pail of water, that's kind of more how I would do it. Yeah. I wouldn't go like this. Right. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit one here. Kind of get a good feel for that. Good. Feeling like our arms are out in front of us. So for this, I just want to kind of have the feeling or the idea that when you come to impact, right, I want you to feel like your head is going behind the ball. Okay? I think our sternum's just getting a little bit ahead of the line there. So I know it wasn't a great hit. Right, and we'll have to kind of work on this move, but look where we took our low point, right? And that's what we try to do here, right? We try to find what do we need to do in extreme to get that, right? And then work our way back off of that, right? So probably on that one, we really got like this, just like that, which is fine. We're starting to learn that, right? Any questions, big guy? Right, focusing on that arm structure, right? Good, feeling like our arms or hands are out in front of us, not getting stuck behind us. Job of the arm structure there. Okay, good job. job. Okay. I like that where that 3.2 is right there. I like that. Okay, I really do. We just need to get the face to kind of close up on us, but we're getting there. Keeping with maintaining that arm structure, right? Feel like our arms are out in front of us, not getting stuck behind us, okay? Now the other thing that we got to kind of work on here just a little bit, right, is that arm structure, right? But the other thing that I can kind of see here without a doubt, right, is that our face angle is usually open through impact, right? That's one of the other things. And sometimes that's because we get it open at the top and we just never get it reclosed down at the bottom, right? You can open it up as much as you want. It just makes it more difficult to close the door, right? But, you know, we need to get back to probably toe into the bag kind of drill, you know, really feeling, you know, as you set up here, right? So don't worry about the ball on there, but really getting that feeling. So as we come on through here, right, really feeling like we're getting those arms to rotate over, right? Instead of kind of, when we get into impact, it's kind of like this, right? You see how the face is open right there? So for us, we really want to feel as we come through here, our arms are rotating over through, which is going to help get us that club closed, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, sometimes I do mentally think about that, you know, toe into the ball.
So just a small little shock here. Just feel those forearms rotate through impact. Good. So let's just feel like the sternum's tilted ever so slightly away from the target, maintaining that arm structure. Felt it open out there?
Yeah. But I knew I was behind the ball.
Okay. We're getting the low point closer to 0 or B. Right? Path is still a little bit to the left, right? So kind of work on the arm structure. Let me just kind of work on this thing to kind of help with that a little bit. so I'm sure we've done this drill before. So I'll kind of demonstrate here for you. Okay. So what this does, right, and this is a great way to practice, right? What I've done is I've taken your outside away from you. Okay, so you have to come to the inside. You have to make your path this way, right? So as we kind of do this, we're keeping our body behind that ball. We're swinging out towards the second baseman, but we remember, we've got to let the club pass by us and rotate our forearms so we can come through, okay? So kind of like this. Okay? Now, I don't really care where it goes, okay? But all I want to make sure is my path is getting to the inside a little bit. Okay? Not hearing that rattle today.
Well, it comes and goes. It's whatever it is that's in there. And I told them about it, and they still, I don't know.
It's probably a piece of epoxy or something like
they
that.
either forgot or couldn't get it. I don't know.
All right, so just kind of gives you a little way to practice here. Okay, good. That's fine. But look what this does for us when we start changing our path.
Yeah.
Right? The reason that we get angle of attack this way is because we swing to the left, right? Not out to the right. Good. Maintaining that arm structure. Now I like those swings right there, okay? I just want to see that face closing a little bit, right? Bringing it back on our target line, okay? But that's a good little way to start. That's where we want to kind of be right there. All right, getting better, okay? Now we're not taking full swings, I get you, right? But we're starting to get that path down a lot better.
Yeah.
All right?
But heck, it's only 5 yards less than my full swing.
Okay. There we go. That one sounded a lot better. There we go. Okay?
Yeah.
So you see what we're kind of working on right there? We don't need to go all out on it, right?
Yeah.
But you do need to, one thing, take that over the top out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Two is we've got to maintain that arm structure. We can't allow our arms to get back behind us here with this right elbow gets stuck here, right? We've got to keep those arms for you. It's probably going to feel like they're way out over here for you to what you're used to over here, okay? But the big thing for us is if I can get you to kind of get rid of that over the top move, right? We're going to start getting our low point to where it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Because let's take a look and see.
My spin rate was a little bit high, but that's okay. Got it. Okay. Any questions right now, Mike? Anything I can kind of answer for you? Does it all make sense at least?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, you know, a few things, we're going to hit a few more balls here, but a few things I'd like you to kind of work on is get the old basket or some kind of basket.
Yeah.
Put that in your chest, right? And all we're trying to do, not full swings, we're just trying to get a feel for what our chest and arms are supposed to do. It's going to be either a half swing, maybe even a 3/4 swing, but something where we kind of feel restricted and you're really going to start getting that wrist hinge that you need.
Yeah.
Because you typically will get like this, right? And you don't get much wrist hinge.
Yeah.
Right, you're trying to bring the club back to a position that you know it needs to be in, but it needs to be kind of more this
Yeah.
than this. Okay, so that's what I kind of work on first is get that thing in there and just feel how much stretch we need to have, right? Okay, now the other thing, get like an alignment rod or whatever. Home Depot's right there. You can get one, stick it in the ground at a about a 45-degree angle or something like that.
Yeah.
And then make sure that we're taking our outside away from us, right? Making sure that it focuses you to keep our hand path more closer to our body
Yeah.
and out towards the right, okay? Instead of our hand path getting away from us and going to the left,
Yeah.
right? And really what I would kind of do is I would just kind of hit small swings, we're not trying to kill it, we're just trying to get a movement pattern.
Exactly.
Right? And then once we get that movement pattern down, then we start putting on the accelerator.
Yeah.
But right now, you're getting way back behind us, kind of tossing that ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then if I don't, and then since I don't close the face and I come over the top, it's just.
Yeah, it's just, it's a pull cut, right? It starts left and then goes to the right. There you go, good. All right, so what I would do is, as I practice, right, what I would do is hit these small little shots like this, but what you want to focus on, right, because everything's in place for you here, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I would focus on is making sure that I'm getting my forearms rotating through,
Yeah.
right? All right, so everything's in place. You can't go over the top at this point or you're going to get it. All right, but just focus on that forearm rotation through. There you go, good. Good job. All right, right down the middle, 153 yards. And we didn't even go all out at it, right?
No.
All right, perfect. Perfect. Left the face open, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, everything's in place. Just focus on that forearm rotation through impact. Just a little bit again. Get that feeling of toe into the bag. Better. Better. Okay. Feel how you close that up a little bit?
Yeah. Good.
Let's hit about 3 more here. What do you say?
Good.
And then we'll have a little chat. What do you need to kind of work on? How do you do it? Did you feel like the arm got a little bit close to her body there?
Yeah, and I felt kind of like my head was in front of the wall.
Good, good. Knowing, having awareness. That's right. Better? Okay. Getting better results there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a few things I like here. Positive club path.
Yeah.
Hitting before the ball. Okay. Face to path was closed, which is good. Okay. Face angle a little bit closed, which gives us a little draw.
Yeah.
Okay. Smash factor was up to 144, which is good. Yeah. Let's focus on that forearm rotation as we come through, right?
Where you at?
right? Keeping our arms out in front of us, right? And focusing on that forearm rotation as we come through, right? So got 160 out of it, pretty good. Okay, that's, you know, as far as a little small little punch shot is concerned.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about what we need to do to kind of practice, right? Once again, as I said, get something like this. You know, some kind, or even if you need to, you know, even if you don't have one of these, you could probably put the towel underneath both of our arms and kind of get a feeling for that. But I really like this because it forces me to keep my hands in front of my chest. Okay, so for you like to get way back over here, right? We lose that, right? So as we kind of practice, okay, I just want us to take little half swings and feel that wrist hinge, right? And just feeling our arms or hands in front of our chest. Okay, that's going to be the big part right there for our arm structure. Okay. Now the other thing that we kind of did here a little bit is we put a little, what I call like a plane station, basically, right? Something where it's taking your outside movement away from you. Something that, you know, if we hit it, it's not going to hurt us, right? You know, if you get in alignment right, put a pull noodle on it too, so just, right? But then you're going to start coming more from the inside, is one of the other issues that we have, right? Now the third, the trifecta for it all, right, is closing the club face, right? So one, arm structure, making sure our hands and arms are staying in front of our chest, right? Two, making sure that we're swinging to the inside part of the ball, right? And then the other part is making sure that we're rotating our forearms through. So let me kind of jump on in there real quick and show you. You know, really all I like to kind of see, if we're at the practice driving range or at home in the hitting bay or hitting net, is just kind of taking small little shots, you know, as so, right? And just getting a feel for one, my path, and two, my hand movement, right? So here, right? And I'm just trying to really feel like I'm swinging from hip high to hip high, right? So it's here, here. And all I'm trying to do is really feel like, you know, if I have this in my gut, right, I feel like I'm here and I really feel like I'm rotating everything shut and closed together, okay? So I would just kind of hit small little shots here, boom, and just really feel like my forearms are rotating and coming through, okay? So, okay. So that's what we really want to kind of practice on, you know, getting back down to the fundamentals. We've always worked on these things, right? You know, typically our bugaboos don't go away, right? They're still usually the same, okay? But that's the big thing I would kind of work on, those three things right there for the driver, okay? And really, you know, the more that I can kind of get your path to start going out to the right a little bit, we're going to start hitting a little bit more behind the ball instead of ahead of the ball, right? So if I look here just a little bit, my club path was a little bit to the left, just a little bit, our attack angle was down just a little bit, right? So those things correlate, right? So if my movement pattern is this way, it's down. If my movement pattern is this way, it's up, for sure. Right? So that's going to help us right there. Questions? What questions do you have for me?
No, that's it. Same stuff.
Same stuff. I know. Probably feel confused, like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I promise you, we can work on this stuff. You know, at least 10 minutes a night or something like that. You're going to start seeing some results out there, right? And you know, this just being the practice part. But then when we get on out there, you're gonna have your swing just a little bit shorter because of this, and you're going to get a little bit more solid contact, right? But those are the things I would kind of focus on. For you, especially out there on the course, the big thing I would focus on is making sure we keep our arms or hands out in front of us. Okay, you have a real bad habit of getting here like that, and then it's just it's push city. Right. There's no point. Right. Exactly. All right, big guy. Any other questions other than that?
Nope.
Anything else you need me to look at or anything?
No, I mean the one I was trying to accomplish, but I don't think I did very well. So, you know, off the tee, like on a par 3 or something.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll use my woods,
Mm-hmm.
and I like my 5, but usually I'll get somewhere between 150 to, if I hit it real good, 170.
Mm-hmm.
This one I'll hit about 140-ish, 150.
Okay.
What I was looking for was something that I could hit maybe about 130. And so this is a 5, this is a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, maybe I'll go with a 7.
Okay.
So I bought a 7. Heck, I hit this thing as long as this, like in between these two now. And I looked, and he told me this was a 7, so I got this in Playing in Sport. But it's at a 25 degree, and I'm like, well, heck, this one here is a 28. I think on the tip there,
Yeah.
28. So I'm thinking, well, heck yeah, this thing will go as far, if not farther, because this one's going to get more height. This one's going to be more of a.
So here's a few things I'll tell you. All right. So one, it's got less degrees of loft, going to go further.
Yeah.
But look how much longer that is.
Yeah, sure.
So that's that. As much as it is about the loft, you are right about that.
Yeah.
You've got an extra what, inch and a half,
Yeah.
2 inches of shaft here,
Yeah.
which is going to give you at least probably 5 to 7 more miles an hour.
Okay.
Right. So that's going to be at least, what, for every 3, probably that's a yard. So it's probably every bit of maybe 7 yards longer,
Yeah.
5 to 7 yards longer.
Yeah. That's the thing. When I hit this, I hit it, and I hit it good, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, hell, this thing, I'm getting more than I'm getting with my 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the things that I see right there.
Yeah.
Probably I would definitely keep this guy.
Yeah.
Right. It may be that we might need to find something different with this guy. Maybe
Yeah.
get a higher loft with him,
Yeah.
or maybe lengthen the shaft a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you like the length of this shaft?
I mean, I just got it the other day, and I really only used it once on
Okay.
par 3,
Okay.
and like I said, I already kind of knew that club might be right on the verge of being too long. So then I grabbed this one for the first time and just hit it, and then it went even further than I probably would have hit with that. And I'm like, well, crap, that didn't work out the way I wanted it. So I do like all 3 of the clubs,
Mhm.
but I just don't know if I really got a place for this one, because again, I can almost get, and I don't even know what's the length of this one, but
What is it? Is that
5.
It's 25 degrees.
Yeah, see, so I've already got a 25, and that's the thing, and I really like this club. That's probably my favorite.
But once again,
But
right,
it's
it's still the same loft, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is our length.
Yeah.
Right, so here's one thing. We're gonna get more distance with this guy probably,
Sure.
statistically speaking,
Yeah.
but the control is not gonna be there as much as this is gonna
Yeah.
be. Does that make sense?
Right.
So
So I don't even want more distance. What I want is shorter distance. You know what I mean? I want something I can hit 130, 140, between there, 135.
Yeah,
Otherwise, usually I would use my 7 for that.
yeah.
But what maybe that's something we can look at later, but I don't always feel real comfortable hitting off a tee with my irons.
Okay.
I feel more comfortable when it's on the ground.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just in my head or what. I watch other people. A lot of people, they tee it up a little bit, and to me, it throws me off thinking that I'm going to come underneath an iron.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I mean, there's 2 rules of thinking about it, and I get your thinking, but that man right behind you, right there, made a great quote, and he said, if they're gonna give me an advantage, take it.
Yeah.
Right? And teeing it up on a tee box is always an advantage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why. Now I do get the psychological effect that you feel like you gotta hit up
I'm
on
up, coming up on,
Right.
on my iron, yeah.
but you always gotta remember that we're hitting down on it, right? We're hitting down on it, and it's just, I think you're gonna get a little bit cleaner strike if it's
Yeah.
on a tee compared to if it's on the ground, because even if I kind of chuck it a little bit, and if it's on the ground, I get nothing.
Right.
If it's on the tee, still get a little something, some walk, and get it going a little bit. So, I know it's psychologically tough.
So like with this tee that I used, so if you were hitting a 7 iron, how far into the ground, like how much would you tee
Absolutely.
it up?
So let's just see if this thing kind of right? So I would probably even have it maybe even lower than that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of high right there. So if I were going to have that into the ground, that thing is just going to be just ever so slightly above.
Okay, so just slightly above, not flush with the ground, but
Not-
a little bit
Just a smidge.
like ahead of the tee.
Correct. Like
Okay.
pretty much all of this is
Yeah.
going to be in the ground, and this is going to be up. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's just basically
Just a hair.
just a hair, right?
Okay.
Not teed up like this.
Okay.
Right. Then I'm really going to get the psychological effect that I got to hit
Yeah,
up
I'm
on.
going up on it, yeah, and that's kind of like when I watch people, I see them with that much on there, and I'm like, "God, I don't know, you know, it just feels like I'm gonna pop the thing up, you
Mhm.
know?
And they probably do. You probably see more or less those guys pop it up, right?
Yeah.
Because if I get the tee up this high with a 7-iron, which has got, 36 degrees aloft, and I put this up here, I'm going to launch that thing at a 56. I'm hitting that thing like a sand wedge at some
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
Right, and that thing's just going to right on up. So get that thing down to like where it's like right there on the ground.
Okay.
Okay, even if you want to get a little bit lower, just like that.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a little buffer between the ground and the ball. If you
Okay.
kind of chuck it a little bit, it's just up just a little bit to kind of get a little bit closer to that center spot for us
Okay.
and go.
Yeah.
Right, so it is an advantage. I would definitely take advantage of that,
Yeah.
how that works. But I would definitely make sure that you're kind of teeing it up just a little bit for
Okay.
yourself, right?
And you're saying the same with the 5?
Mm-hmm.
The same, just a little bit, because what I tend to do with the 5 is I tend to maybe be like a little bit more above,
Yeah.
but I've never really, maybe I should try it down a little bit more.
I would just experiment a little
Yeah.
bit, that's kind of a personal thing right there, but I would
Yeah.
tee it down maybe just a little bit lower so it gets rid of the anxiety or the sensation that I gotta hit up on it.
Yeah.
Right, but it's on a tee, but it's so close to the ground that it doesn't affect you, right?
Doesn't
But it
matter.
gives you just a little bit of a buffer, right, and it puts you on a level ground to hit the ball.
Okay. Good.
Okay, cool. Any other questions I can answer for you?
No, I'm gonna come
Yeah, you might probably, if I were you, I'd probably look at, it doesn't have to be the number hybrid, but I would look at the length and loft. We can go into the next one
Yeah.
and make sure that the length is a hybrid length. And then I would probably look at something at probably 29, maybe even 30 degrees,
Yeah.
something like that. Maybe like maybe a newer hybrid that's a 6, or maybe even a 7 hybrid,
Yeah.
something like that. But really, what you got was a 7 wood.
Yeah.
And they're great clubs. Don't get me wrong; it's got its own purposes. But if you're a person that's looking for less yardage than
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
then we're not
kind
going
of more height is what I'm looking for, less.
Yeah. So I would look on, probably eBay or something like that, and I would look for something probably about 29 to 32 degrees of loft to hybrid. It
Okay.
doesn't have to be anything exciting.
Yeah.
It just has to be something that works for us, because we're probably using it, maybe 1 or 2 times around?
Yeah, if that, but just mostly for a par 3 off the tee box, that's about 130-ish, 135. Because again, with these, I know I can get 150 and I can get about 160-ish. But it's that shorter part that now, if it's only 100, okay, I feel comfortable with my 9 or my pitch and wedge, So it's kind of those in between about 120 and 140 that I'm looking for.
That gap right there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I thought the 7, but when I looked at the degrees, I'm thinking, well, that ain't right, because this is kind of longer, and then like you say, even with the longer shaft too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good thought, but we're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
Right,
and
probably if we wanted to have this, and this is just kind of thinking outside the box. If I wanted to do this, I would probably take, what is this, that's 6,
yeah.
right? I would probably just for experimental purposes, I would probably knock this about an inch and a half lower than this,
Yeah.
right? So we get a little bit less, swing arc,
Yeah.
right? And we're keeping that length. So I mean, if you want to kind of experiment and probably choke down to about where the shaft is here and kind of see, but there again, we're trying to get into a position that we might not be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right? But that's, if I was just like, hey, I want to try something, I'd probably knock about 1.5 inches off this thing,
Yeah.
and then try that and see if it worked. I just want to be, you know, just playing around,
Yeah.
right? Nothing terribly too serious about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, probably if I were you, I'd be looking at 9 hybrid or
I've got so many mismatched ones because, you know,
oh,
I lose them. I don't know. I used to have one for every single one, but then I either lose it or leave it or whatever I do with it. And then even my 6 and my 9, I just got these other ones.
yeah. So, good. How's the putter working for us? Good?
Yeah, I do. I like it, you know. I don't know. It's okay, you know. Makes a little kind of a weird sound, I think, because it's hollow. But no,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not doing too bad with the putting. It's always about, you know, for me, it's more about the pressure of, you know, the cut of the green. Are they fast? Are they slow?
Yeah.
I don't struggle so much with fast greens. I struggle more with the slow ones because I'm hesitant to hit it so hard,
Gotcha.
as hard as you need to on some of the slower greens to get it to the hole.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't let myself hit it that hard, even though walking up there, I know, okay, you know.
You got to,
But
I know.
And I'm sure I decelerate, but probably the one I struggle with the most is the long putt.
Black putt, yeah.
And I feel like, okay, I know I gotta hit it far, and I come back, but I feel like I don't get anything on it, and in my head, I think, well, hell, I probably decelerated when when I was coming to the ball. I didn't.
So here's a little free tidbit for about black putt. So a few things that I've always heard, and it's always worked for me. Feel like you're standing a little bit taller. Put your hands pressed just a little bit, okay? And don't try to hit it or accelerate, right? You want to take a slow, long swing to come through it, okay? But if I kind of feel like I kind of rush it back, right, and try to hit it, then I'm going to try to accelerate.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so a few things I like to kind of do is I like to feel like I'm standing a little bit taller, hands just a little bit forward, and then it's just a smooth, long swing and let it go. And I promise you, you're going to see some better results than you ever thought. You're like, oh my God, that worked.
Yeah, because that's the thing, exactly on the long putts, it's kind of like, damn, I knew I had to get it out there, and I get it halfway, and it's like, what the hell, and it's just not a good hit.
I think a lot of people don't realize that they need to change their setup a little bit to accommodate for what it is. Because I think a lot of people, they practice the 10 to 20 footers, right, where you're kind of a little bit more hunched over, you're looking down the line, and you're trying to more finesse it, right?
Yeah.
Where this, it's going to be a lot more upright. I feel like, at least for me, I feel like I'm hitting a driver, right? I'm up that much, and I got my hands this way. And the big thing is I don't try to accelerate it back. I just smooth through, smooth back, and it'll do wonders for it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Do you want to schedule your next one?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do that right now for you. You want to do it next Friday or?
Yeah, let's at least put it on the books and
Okay. No problem, my friend.
act of nature comes or something.
Oh, I hope not. Jeez Louise. I saw that they said that there was like another one out there somewhere. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, we had our fair share this year so far, I think. What's it been, 2 at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's getting cooler, so maybe that's got to help, I would think. I mean, I don't know, the water out in the Gulf probably isn't getting that much cooler, but at least it's more of a cold front it's going to hit when it gets here.
Very good. I got you booked for 7 a.m. next Friday over here.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Any
Sounds
questions?
good.
Very
Thanks,
good.
bud.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, my man. Yeah, I'm glad your dad did okay. Did he ride it out down here, or did he go somewhere to a shelter or something?
No, they're still in Illinois. They just sold their place.
Oh, okay.
They just sold their place. They'll be down Friday.
Okay, so he wasn't down. Okay, that's
No.
great. Ooh,
No.
I'm glad he lived through that ride.
No,